Peace, family. The other day, Stephen A. Smith did a podcast with Cam Newton. I can't watch too much of this guy because his commentary, his viewpoint is just... But I watched the highlights of it. And one of the things Stephen A. Smith said, that his hopes, his desire was that one day black people just vote straight Republican. He used the old Republican line that blacks have been voting Democratic since 1967, 65, or whatever it is, and have gotten nothing. And by Republicans knowing that, they don't even try to covet the black vote. He said if we just voted Republican, it would be a game changer. You know, before I get more into what he said, let me say this to Stephen A. Smith, respectfully. Whatever money they paid you to talk politics that you have not yet spent, please return it. Give it back. Because the stuff that is coming out of your mouth is not for the political interests of black people. Just have some integrity and decency about yourself. You don't know a clue what you're talking about. Just return the rest of the money that you didn't spend and just wipe your hands clean of it. Because see, two things come to mind when I hear people like this guy say that the blacks have been voting Democrat for the last 60-something years or whatever. First thing is this. You never live in a Republican city or state. For all the people that sit up here and say that blacks have been voting Democrat for the last 60, 70, or whatever, how many years, when you ask them where they stay at, I have never ever, and I don't mean hardly ever, I have never ever heard a person singing the songs or the praises of the Republican Party that's black and live in a Republican city run and state run by Republican Party. I've never seen that. Never have I ever seen that. For all the wealth Stephen A. Smith has, why isn't he living in a Republican city run state? And see, and the second issue I have with this is the fact that when black people sit up talking about something, you've been voting Democrat for the last 6 years. What? Name me a city or state that is run by Republicans, and tell me what have the Republicans done for the constituents that has voted Republican. What have they done for them that black people can look forward to for them doing for us in our city and states? If we flip every city and state that black people vote Democrat and turn them red, what red example of a properly run Republican community can black people look forward to? Never ever will you have a black Republican spewing this nonsense give a city, state where Republicans have governed over a peaceful, prosperous community that they dwell in, that they live comfortable in. Nowhere will you be able to say, and some of these people will say, well, Texas, well, how come you don't live in Texas? And if you ask somebody in Texas, do you feel like you're living in paradise? Do you feel like out of all the countries and all the cities and states in this country, you live in the best one of them all? Do you think black people in Texas is saying that? And for Stephen A. Smith to sit up here and spew this nonsense, all black people vote Republican. Right now, the Republicans have a Republican majority in the Supreme Court. They have a Republican president. They have a Republican House. They have a Republican Senate. What would be the benefit for black people to vote for an all-Republican ticket when the Republicans have all the power and authority at their disposal right now? How would it improve the Republican Party to better address the needs and interests of black people right now, today, if 100% of black people vote Republican in the midterm election? How would it improve the political position of Republicans to address the needs and interests of black people? You know, like I say, the bottom line is, let me say that. I'm going to end this video by saying this. Stephen A. Smith, you have $100 million contract that you talk sports on ESPN. They offer you a position to talk sports on Sirius Satellite. You have in excess of $100 million at your disposal. What makes you think our political interests are the same? However expensive life is, you got more than enough money to compensate for it. You see, the people who give Stephen A. Smith and people like him money like this, it is not to make people make or influence people to make better political decisions about themselves. It is to spew this nonsense, to keep perpetuating a system that has a economic, political disadvantage that the people who pay Stephen A. Smith want to continue. If I was bestowed with that kind of money, I wouldn't align myself to Republicans or the Democrats. I would build a community and have businesses and industries that protect and preserve our essential needs and services. I would have our own schools. I would have our own hospitals. We'd be manufacturing our own goods and services. We'll have control over our economics. We'll be having our own farms to feed our people. And we'll be governing our own affairs. And then we will use that social economic impact to be a magnet to every other disenfranchised black person. There'd be no need for us to participate in this political system because they've never served us well, whether you vote Democrat or Republican. That's what I would be doing if somebody gave me $100 million. You know, but like I say, I'm going to end this video here. And as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video.